Today I want to talk about Neville Goddard's story of how he actually manifested his wife. So the story goes like this. Neville says, "When I decided to marry the lady who now bears my name, I applied this principle. At the time, I was terribly involved. I had married at the age of 18 and became a father at 19. We separated that year, but I never sought a divorce. Therefore, my separation was not legal in the state of New York." He then goes on to say, 16 years later, when I fell in love and wanted to marry my present wife, I decided to sleep as though we were married. While sleeping, physically in my hotel room, I slept imaginatively in an apartment, she in one bed and I in the other. My dancing partner did not want me to marry. So she told my wife that I would be seeking a divorce and to make herself scarce, which she did, taking up residence in another state. But I persisted. Night after night, I slept in the assumption that I was happily married to the girl I love. So he never gave up, no matter what the circumstances were around him. He then goes on to say, within a week, I received a call requesting me to be in court the next Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., Giving me no reason why I should be there. I dismissed the request, thinking it was a hoax played on me by a friend. So the next Tuesday morning at 9:30 a.m., I was unshaved and only casually dressed when the phone rang and a lady said, "It would be to your advantage as a public figure to be in court this morning as your wife is on trial." What a shock. I quickly thanked the lady, caught a taxi, and arrived just as the court began. My wife had been caught lifting a few items from a store in New York City, which she had not paid for. Asking to speak on her behalf, I said, "She is my wife and the mother of my son. Although we have been separated for 16 years, as far as I know, she has never done this before, and I do not think she will ever do it again. We have a marvelous son. Please do nothing to her to reflect in any way upon our son who lives with me. If I may say something, she is 8 years my senior and may be passing through a certain emotional state which prompted her to do what she did. If you must sentence her, then please suspend it." The judge then said to me, "In all of my years on the bench, I have never heard an appeal like this. Your wife tells me you want a divorce, and here you have tangible evidence for it, yet you plead for her release." He then sentenced her for 6 months and suspended the sentence. My wife waited for me at the back of the room and said, "Neville, that was a decent thing to do. Give me the subpoena and I will sign it." We took a taxi together and I did that which was not legal. I served my own subpoena and she signed it. Now, who was the cause of her misfortune? She lived in another state but came to New York City to do an act for which she was to be caught and tried. So I say, every being in the world will serve your purpose. So in the end, you will say, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do." They will move under compulsion to do your will, just as my wife did. I tell this story only to illustrate a principle. You do not need to ask anyone to aid you in the answer to your prayer, for the simple reason that God is omnipotent and omniscient. He is in you as your own wonderful I amness. Everyone on the outside is your servant, your slave, ready and able to do your will. All you need do is know what you want. Construct a scene which would imply the fulfillment of your desire. Enter the scene and remain there. If your magical counselor, your feeling of fulfillment, agrees with what is used to illustrate your fulfilled desire, your fantasy will become a fact. If it does not, start over again by creating a new scene and entering it. In my own case, the scene was a bedroom of an apartment with my wife in one bed and I in the other, denoting that I was no longer living in a hotel room. I fell asleep in that state, and within 1 week, I had the necessary papers to start action on a divorce. So it doesn't matter the circumstances, and it doesn't mean that, somebody or everybody around you is going to create some kind of crime, It just means that Circumstances don't matter because somehow, some way, things will move in a way that will make sense to you and everyone around you so that it can become your manifestation. So you just need to continue persisting, and it doesn't matter what you're seeing around you.